Yeah, although prosecutors don't have to show a motive to get a conviction for first-degree murder, juries want to know the motive, especially when they see this clean-cut guy with no criminal background. They want to know why he did it. Now, I think it's coming into focus why he did it. He seemed to be a devotee of serial killers and crime. I mean, he studied under the BTK's autobiographer. I mean, he was so interested in true crime that it looks like he wanted to be the center of his own story.
Reporter Room with Jessica Della Davies starts now.
Hello, Reporter Room investigators. We have major breaking news in the Bryan Kohberger, Idaho student murder case. Bryan has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and another felony burglary after allegedly sneaking into the 1122 King Road house near the University of Idaho. This is located about 10 miles away from his Pullman, Washington apartment. He stands accused of doing away with Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana around 4 a.m. on November the 13th. Police have released the search warrant to us, and they have found reddish stains consistent with blood in Bryan's apartment. Now, they also found an animal hair, so will this be traced back to Murphy the dog? Let's go through some of the more significant items. There were 8 strands of hair, one of which may belong to an animal, a single black nitrate glove, stains on his pillowcases, and stains on mattress covers. We now know that Murphy did alert, according to Dylan the roommate's statement. So will Murphy save the day, and will this animal hair link Bryan back to the 1122 King Road residence? Some of the more interesting items on the search warrant include that nitrate glove in the shade of black. Now, these are hospital grade gloves. You've probably seen them worn in your doctor's office. They're not sterilized like what you would use in an operating room, so they mostly protect the person who's wearing them. There's also possible animal hair. Now, this is interesting because if you look at the Richard Allen Delphi case, we know that cat hair was found on one of the girls allegedly, and this cat hair was linked back to Richard Allen. So let's talk about cast off and blood spatter for a second. Depending on the shape of the object, there can be one or more pools of blood ready to be cast off. This would produce a pattern called a blood spatter. Now, let's look at the contents of his dust container from his, quote, Bissell Power Force vacuum. Now, this could contain DNA, hair fibers, anything that they can get from this that will link Bryan back to the 1122 King Road house will help law enforcement build their case. They also took his Fire TV stick with the cord plug. Now, this could be nothing, but it could also go toward mindset. If this Fire TV stick was a jailbreak Fire TV stick, he could be watching unsavory, untoward things on it. Jailbreaking a Fire Stick is against the law, and it's the process of removing restrictions imposed by the manufacturer, and it allows the user to install unauthorized software. So, was he watching anything untoward on this? They also collected his computer tower, and I think that his search history, who he was in contact with, what he was looking up, this all will help them build their case. Let's dig into item 12 together in just a moment, so please stay with me. Everything I'm sharing with you today is my opinion, and opinions are not facts, so please don't send any negativity to anyone. Let's be kind to each other. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up so I know you were here. Now, I think it's really interesting under item 12. They're talking about this collection of a dark red spot. Now, they collected this without testing it at the scene, and I think that's very interesting because they most certainly could have done a test on the spot, but they chose to send that out to the lab, so I don't know why. 12B, they have the 2 cuttings from an encased pillow of a reddish brown stain. On 12C, they have the top and bottom of mattress covers packaged, and they packaged those separately. Now, They have multiple stains on these, and only one of these has been tested. So this means that they were doing initial blood stain testing to determine if this red stain is blood, and or DNA testing, and then the rest would have been sent out to the lab. So many of you will recall that I've talked about the Rapid Hit ID system. This is a one-step device that provides law enforcement with quick DNA results. They can get their testing done in 1 to 2 hours. This rapid DNA analysis helps them quickly develop a DNA profile from a swab or a sample without the need of waiting for a DNA laboratory to interpret the results. And we know that law enforcement collected DNA from the trash. Bryan was throwing his trash in neighbors' trash, and they ultimately were able to connect Bryan to the crime scene, gathering DNA from his father's garbage. So will Murphy be the hero of this story? Will this animal hair link Bryan to the crime scene? Subscribe.